Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good morning. Today I would like to present my research proposal with the title of Forecasting Bursa Malaysia's Benchmark Index Prices using Box-Jenkins and Artificial Neural Network Methods. My name is Amiratun Najwa Binti Azli and my supervisor is Dr. Maria Elena Binti Noor. So, this research proposal presentation contains 4 parts, that is Chapter 1 Introduction, Chapter 2 Literature Review, Chapter 3 Methodology, Chapter 4 Expected Outcome and Conclusion. For first chapter, background of the study. Bursa Malaysia is the stock exchange of Malaysia. It was incorporated in 1976. It was previously known as Kuala Lumpur Stock Exchange KLSE. It was listed in top 25 world's largest stock exchanges with a market capitalization of USD 455.8 billion according to the world's largest stock exchanges 2017. It consists of 3 markets, which are main market for established large cap companies. The second market is East Market, stands for Access Certainty Efficient. It was for emerging companies. And Lead Market stands for Leading Entrepreneur Accelerator Platform. It is for up-and-coming SME companies. The main market consists of 15 indexes, which the benchmark index being the FTSE Bursa Malaysia KLCI, or also known as FPM KLCI according to Russell 2020. The FPM KLCI comprises the largest 30 companies in Malaysia, including Malaysia Airports, Axiata, Binti Malaysia, Top Glove, Maybank, Petronas, Sandabi Plantation, Tenaga Nasional Berhad, Harta Lega Holdings, and many more. So the Bursa Malaysia said that KLCI was enhanced to ensure that it remains robust in measuring the country's economy with a growing connection to the global economy. Together with its index partner FTSE, the enhanced KLCI provides a platform for a broader variety of attractive and investment opportunities. The KLCI changed its name to the FTSE Bursa Malaysia KLCI or FPM KLCI, and the adjustments were initiated on Monday, 6 July 2009. The performance of the FPM KLCI will indicate the strength of the Malaysian market and will be cited every day by analysts and newspapers nationally and internationally according to Hang 2009. So the problem statements of our study. As stated by Fong and Lee 2020, Bursa Malaysia is short of new economic stocks such as Apple, Facebook, Google. This makes Bursa Malaysia would be less interesting to investors, especially foreign investors. Furthermore, earlier this year, Bernama reported that Bursa Malaysia closed lower amidst the ongoing political turmoil. This situation has overshadowed the country's outlook and led to increased sales pressure among foreign investors. On the other hand, Malaysia is facing another bigger challenge at the moment. The profound impact of COVID-19 is being felt across all industries. So based on the data obtained from FTSE Bursa Malaysia KLCI 2020, it is found that there is a significant drop in the main index since 2018. So what are our objectives? First, it is to obtain the trend of FPM KLCI's opening highest, lows and closing price. Second, to propose a new imputation approach to fill in the missing data. Third, to model and forecast the FPM KLCI's opening highest, lows and closing prices over the next 2 years using the Box-Jenkins method and artificial neural network method. And finally, to compare the forecasting performance of ARIMA model and NAR-NN model with and without using the new proposed imputation approach. So the scope of the study. So what data is it? It is the FPM KLCI's opening highest, lowest and closing prices from 14 May 2015 to 14 May 2020. Where do we get it? We get it from the online database, that is Yahoo Finance. And what will we do with the data? First, we will study the data in terms of descriptive statistics and inferential statistics, and then we will exclude the weekend prices Saturday and Sunday because the trading session only occurs during the workdays, that is Monday to Friday. and the missing values that fall on workdays will be treated with a new proposed data imputation approach. So what methods will we use? These are the methods that are used by past researchers. So in this study, we will focus on box Jenkins and artificial neural network, that is ARIMA model and NAR-NN model. So what software are we going to use? We are going to use Microsoft Excel, R, Minitab, and MATLAB. So the conclusion will be we will model the ARIMA model and NAR-NN model and to forecast the stock market prices over the next 2 years and then compare both model performance before and after new proposed data treatment approach. So the significance of our study. The result of this study will benefit the Ministry of Finance Malaysia in managing the country's budget and economy as the stock market prices can be predicted. From the findings of this study, the Ministry of Finance also can identify the reasons why investors are interested or lose interest in investing in the FPMK LCI and thus determine how to attract investors to invest locally. Finally, in addition, the results of this study will be presented to investors and to the public to attract their interest in boosting the country's economy. Move on to chapter 2. The history of Bursa Malaysia. These are the chronological order of how Bursa Malaysia was formed. You can read it here on the table here. And this is Datuk Muhammad Umar Swift. He is an CEO. He is the Bursa Malaysia CEO. He was appointed on 11 February 2020. And this is the chairman, Tan Sri Abdul Wahid Umar. He was appointed on 1st May 2020. So the government and Bursa Malaysia relationship. On the 16th March 2020, Prime Minister of Malaysia, Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin, announced that due to COVID-19 pandemic outbreak, so he is going to implement restriction of movement order. So these are the efforts to contain COVID-19 outbreak. The government and private offices to be closed, no religious activities, all shops to be shut down, comprehensive restriction for Malaysians travelling abroad, restricted entry for foreign visitors, those returning from overseas to be home quarantined for 14 days, no social gatherings, and kindergarten schools, colleges, and universities to be closed. So it has detrimental impact on our economy and cause such reported that Bursa Malaysia is at its lowest and investors have been protesting since late March and is expected to continue until mid-April. So it is expected that the FPMK LCI can sustain and burn up its level if crude oil prices rise stronger and more stable. On the other hand, since MCO is scheduled to expire on 31st August 2020, the government has already instructed Malaysians to get ready for the new normal. This means that maybe the economy and the stock market can rise back to pre-COVID-19 level. So the history of stock market price in Malaysia. This is the historical data of opening, highest, lowest, and closing prices from 14 May 2015 to 14 May 2020. Okay, so as you can see that the data has a bit seasonality in them, and of course it contains trend, and the lowest prices was on 19 March. This is the lowest. Immediately after the MCO was implemented on 18 March 2020, signifying a decline to the level not seen in the past decade as investor sentiment continues to deteriorate, according to Idris 2020. So when MCO is started to be implemented, the price of FPMK LCI starts to drop. However, the government is working hard to improve the country's economy by introducing an economic stimulus packages such as Prihatin, Punjana, and etc. So you can see here that this is economic stimulus packages introduced by government. Assuming that we do take the impact of prices changing in our forecasting calculations, we hope that our result may be consistent with the report that will come out for the next 2 years. So the history of forecasting. Forecasting is a process of making statements about events whose actual outcomes have not yet been observed. The main purpose of forecasting is to minimize uncertainty and to identify and evaluate risk. Due to nowadays difficult economic conditions that the whole business market face up, the importance of forecasting has become more imperative than ever. Marketing practitioners regard forecasting as an important part of their job, according to Marketrakis and Wheelwright 1959. So these are the examples of application in forecasting stock market. As you can see, there are more than 4, and I will summarize this application at the end of my chapter 2. So imputation is the process of replacing missing data with substituted values. Barnett and Lang 1999 stated that missing data causes 3 major problems, such as first, it introduces large amounts of bias, second, make the handling and analysis of the data more difficult, and third, create inefficiencies. Imputation protects all cases by replacing missing data with estimated values based on other available information. Training a model with datasets that have many missing values can drastically affect the quality of machine learning models, according to Bob 2019. One way to resolve this issue is to remove the missing values. However, we risk losing data points with valuable information. Furthermore, this method gets reliable results only when the number of missing values is not large, according to Zhang 2016. Since most statistical analysis techniques, data reduction software, and machine learning approaches need full databases, dealing with missing data is an important step in pre-processing data collection, according to Petrozello and Journal 2019. A better strategy is to impute the missing values using the existing part of the data. So this is a study by Hagigati and Hassan from UTHM. They propose an application of exponential smoothing as a data treatment technique to boost recognition performance. They stated that the selection of EUWMA as an imputation technique is driven by its predictive features and statistical properties, in which preserving the order of data and independence from other variables. Exponential smoothing has a great theory and a few successful applications in the industry. However, exponential smoothing imputation application in stock market forecasting has not been investigated. Therefore, we will investigate this technique in our study. So the history of Box-Jenkins is, in 1970, George Box and Dylan Jenkins introduced ARIMA models in the innovative textbook Time Series Analysis, Forecasting and Control. Technically, the forecasting technique described in the text is an ARIMA model. However, many forecasters use the phrases ARIMA models and Box-Jenkins models interchangeably. Box-Jenkins models are adaptive, can model trends and seasonal patterns, and can be automated. Rather than a structural view of the level, trend, and seasonality, Box-Jenkins are based on autocorrelations which pattern in time. Artificial neural network is a mathematical method aimed at simulating the human brain in the process of knowledge acquisition, with successful applications in nonlinear mapping between input and output variables, pattern recognition, and classification and optimization, according to Pereira 2018. ANN has been widely used as a promising method for time series prediction. One of the advantages is that it can model the seasonality directly, and that the prior deseasonalization process is not necessary, according to Zhang and Key 2005. They also claim that ANN is a flexible nonlinear model class that can discover patterns from data. So the neural network model is easier to use than the ARIMA model because it can easily process non-stationary and seasonal data. So this is the basic structure of an ANN from Ahire 2018. Consists of artificial neurons similar to the biological neurons in the human brain that are grouped into layers. So ANN time series models has 3 models, that is recurrent neural network RNN, nonlinear autoregressive NAR, and nonlinear autoregressive with exogenous inputs NARX. So RNN do not require past serial values as input this because they have alternating connections between their own structure, and AR uses the use of past time series values to predict future values, and ARX uses past time series values and external variables to predict future values. So in our study, we are going to choose the middle model, that is NER. So based on our readings and references, no authors were using the exponential smoothing algorithm as the efficient technique in stock market forecasting. Therefore, we would like to try this technique. Although many researchers have used the NN method in their study, but none have used the NER and N model in forecasting the stock market prices. So we will use the model, and we expect that the model will outperform the ARIMA model because the ARIMA model is always used in the forecasting world. We define the ARIMA model as our standard model, and then the new model will then be compared to the standard model using the forecasting accuracy measurement tools. And majority of authors were fond of predicting stock market closing prices. However, these researchers have predicted more than one stock index, since we are only focusing on one index, that is FVMK-LCI. So we want based on readings and references, these are the imputation or other data training techniques used by past researchers. These are the forecasting methods models of techniques used by past researchers. And this is the forecasting accuracy measurement tools. You can see that MAPE is very popular. And these are the forecasted subject, and closing price index is very popular too, because the reason being the majority of authors were fond of predicting stock market closing prices, but since we only want to focus one index, we want to predict all four prices available in the FVMK-LCI. Okay. So move on to chapter 3. Research procedures will predict the opening, highest, lowest, and closing prices for FVMK-LCI for the next 2 years. We choose the FVMK-LCI because it is the benchmark index in Bursa Malaysia. We need to divide the data into 3 parts, that is training data, data validation, and forecasting. And all missing values will be imputed using exponential smoothing algorithm in Microsoft Excel 2016. The Minitab software will be used for the modeling and forecasting of the Box-Jenkins method because the software can easily graph from raw data and can manage multiple graphs. For the modeling and forecasting of ANN method, MATLAB software will be used because it has the applications for neural network time series forecasting. So the 3 parts of the data is, the training data will be the prices during trading days from the 2nd week of May 2015 to the 2nd week of April 2020. The data validation is the prices data during the 3rd week of April 2020 until the 2nd week of May 2020, and the forecasting will be all of the 4 prices for the next 2 years, starting from the 3rd week of May 2020 until the 2nd week of May 2022. So the imputation procedure is, we will choose the exponential smoothing algorithm as our imputation approach, and the imputed value is an extension of the existing values in specified dates so that the timeline continues as usual. This technique involves arranging the timeline with a steady step between the various points. This may be a monthly timeline with values on 14th of every month, a yearly timeline, or a numerical index timeline. The basic exponential smoothing algorithm is as follows. So the alpha is the smoothing factor, the ST is the output of exponential smoothing algorithm, and the XT is the observation. So we are going to choose the triple exponential smoothing because it is used when time series data contains both trend and seasonality. As you can see at our time series plot, that our data contains both trend and seasonality. What is trend? Trend is an increasing or decreasing pattern presents in time series data for a long period of time, and the seasonality is cycles that repeat regularly over time, such as yearly, monthly, weekly, or even hourly. So this approach gives most weight to recent data points and decreases exponentially. So this is the formula to cover the overall smoothing, to cover the seasonal smoothing, covers the trend smoothing, and the calculation for our imputation values. So the XT is the observation, ST is the smooth observation, BT is the trend factor, CT is the seasonal index, I is the indication, MZ period is the head, T is time, alpha, beta, gamma is the weight, are the weighting factors. So the bulk sentence procedure is the mixed model is a combination of AR and MA models. AR is autoregressive and MA is moving average. This is the formula, and this is the procedure by Dobra and Alexander 2008. So first we have to plot our series, and we will identify is it stationary or not. If it yes, we can identify the possible model for it, and if the diagnostics okay, then we can further continue to make forecast. If it's not stationary, we have to difference the series multiple times until it becomes stationary, and then we can forecast. So the artificial neural network procedure, the nonlinear autoregressive neural network model, NAR and N model used for time series prediction can be written as follows. The NAR and N model predicts the value of series data y at time t, that is yt, using the test value p. The function of h is unknown at first, and neural network training aims to approach functions by optimizing network weights and neuronal tendencies. So it is the approximation error of y series at time t, and p denotes the delay feedback. So this is the basic model of NAR and N built in MATLAB. So number of hidden neurons is flexible and optimized through a trial and error procedure to obtain the best model. And we will train the model using the Levenberg-Marquardt algorithm found in MATLAB. This algorithm requires more memory but less time. So the basic NAR and N model is with 10 hidden neurons and 2 delays. So the hidden neurons we will use the trial and error procedure, so we can find the best model, and the delays will be depends on the seasonality of the model. So the forecasting accuracy, model fit tests are determined by calculating the prediction error. You can see that the terms E are prediction errors at time I, Y is the real value at time I, Y is the predicted value at time Y. So this is the measurement tools that we are going to use, but we will focus on MAPE because it is one of the most widely used and has the advantages of scale independency and interpretability, according to Kim and Kim 2016. Move on to chapter 4, expected outcome and conclusion. So the expected outcome is the NAR and N model after the new proposed data treatment will give better results than the rest, because the NAR and N model is believed to provide better long-term series modeling and forecasting. The study will focus on proposing a new data treatment approach using ARIMA and NAR and N models to forecast Bursa Malaysia stock market, and then the accuracy of both models will be compared. That's all. Thank you.